You ever get that feeling, when you have this incredibly powerful tool, but you just know you're only scratching the surface? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today with the AI coding tool, Claude Code. We're going to go way beyond the basics, drawing on some amazing lessons from a real power user to show you how to really unlock its full potential.
I mean, this quote just nails it, right? It was like buying a Ferrari, but never taking it out of first gear. That is the perfect way to describe how so many of us use these powerful AI coding tools. You've got this incredible machine just sitting there, and you're just puttering along. It's a super common feeling, but trust me, we're about to change that.
Yeah, this is the trap. And it's so easy to fall into. We treat these incredibly advanced tools like, I don't know, a simple chatbot. We just toss some vague prompts at it and kind of cross our fingers, hoping for the best. Look, if that sounds familiar at all, don't even worry about it. You are absolutely in the majority.
So what if you could actually learn to shift gears? Because that's what we're here to do. This isn't just about learning a few new commands here and there. No, we're talking about making some pretty fundamental shifts in how you think so you can become a true power user. It is time to get in the driver's seat, buckle up, and really see what this engine can do.
Okay, Section 1, laying the foundation. Now, before we get to all the really cool advanced stuff, we have to build a solid foundation. And honestly, it all comes down to one single core concept. If you get this one thing right, you are going to be way ahead of the curve.
And here it is. The key to everything is a file called claude.md. I want you to think of this thing as your project's permanent memory, or like its constitution. It's this one file that Claude reads before every single task. This is how you make sure it works on your project, with your rules, your way, every single time.
So what kind of stuff do you put in here? Well, this is where the magic happens. You can define your exact Git workflows, to stop it from accidentally pushing to the main branch. We've all had that nightmare. You can give it a whole overview of your project's architecture, so it actually understands how all the pieces are supposed to fit together. You can list out your key build commands, or even lay down strict rules for how testing and analytics have to be done. It's basically about automating all of your project's unwritten rules. Now, there is one catch: you do have to keep it updated. But believe me, that tiny bit of effort pays off in a huge way.
Seriously, just using this one file puts you ahead of 99% of beginners. And here's why that's so important. This little file solves the single biggest problem with AI assistance, which is consistency. You're not starting from scratch with every single request anymore. You're building on this solid foundation of knowledge every time. It is a total game changer.
All right, Section 2, thinking like a product manager. So now that we have that foundation in place, it's time to level up. And this next part isn't about a new file or some secret command. Nope, it's all about a really crucial shift in your mindset.
This comparison just lays it out perfectly. The old way, you're a code reviewer. You're obsessing over every single line of code the AI spits out. But the new way, the much more effective way, is to be an outcome verifier. You stop asking, hey, is every line of this code correct? And you start asking, does the app actually work the way it's supposed to? Do all the tests pass? You see the difference? You're operating at a much higher level.
And this quote really gets to the core of it all. You don't need to understand every line of code outputted by Claude. That's what matters. I mean, just letting go of that need to check every single line it's freeing. Your role starts to change. You're not just a coder anymore. You're more like a conductor. You're focused on the whole performance, not every single note being played.
Okay, Section 3, unleashing true power. Now we're getting to the master level. You've got the foundation, you've got the right mindset, now you're ready to unlock the techniques that can give you just an absolutely exponential leap in productivity. This is where things get really fun.
So, let me ask you a question. How would you like to complete a week's worth of development in just a few hours? I know. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? But it's totally possible once you stop thinking in a straight line and start thinking in parallel. And here's what that looks like. Instead of just chugging along, tackling one feature at a time, you can actually spin up multiple independent Claude agents to work on different parts of your app all at the same time. You can just see the potential here for a massive jump in how much you can get done.
But wait, how do you manage all that without it turning into complete chaos? Well, the secret is a really cool Git feature called work trees. Now, I know that might sound a little technical, but just imagine you have several copies of your project folders sitting on your desktop, and you can work on a different feature in each one without them messing each other up. That's basically what work trees let you do.
So here's how the workflow breaks down. First, you create a totally separate, isolated folder that's your work tree for each feature you want to build.
Step 2, you spin up a separate Claude instance inside each one of those folders. Then you just let each agent do its thing, build the feature, test it, commit its work, all in its own little sandbox so they don't step on each other's toes. And finally, when they're all finished, you just merge all that completed work back together. It's literally like having a whole team of developers working for you in parallel.
All right, section 4, the future of coding. So we've gone all the way from first gear to full power. But what does all of this really mean for the future of being a developer? Where do we, the humans, fit into this new, supercharged way of working? Let's just take a quick look back at the journey we've been on. We started in first gear, right? Just treating it like a chatbot. Then, we laid that critical foundation, giving it a permanent memory with the claude.md file. After that, we made that huge mindset shift to start verifying outcomes, not nitpicking code. And finally, we hit full power, working in parallel on multiple features at once. And that brings us right to the big final question. If your AI can plan, code, and test, what is your new role? What do you do? Well, it shifts, right? You're not just the builder anymore. You become the architect, the director, the strategist. And that's a really powerful thought to leave you with.